President Key directs bank governor to implement robust monetary policy to strengthen the country's financial sector. Government and International Monetary Fund discuss deepening economic cooperation. And fire destroys 12 shops at Customs Market. It is 11th of June 2025 and welcome you to SSBC 8 p.m. News. I am Akuch Makir and we begin tonight's broadcast with a strong directive from President Salva Kiir, who has instructed the newly appointed governor of the Bank of South Sudan, Dr. Addis Ababa Otho, to implement robust monetary policy and strengthen the bank's reserve towards revitalizing the country's financial sector and align it with the aspiration of the people. The president issued the directive during the swearing-in ceremony of Dr. Otho and his deputy Samuel Mikaya. SSBC Alejandro Lotok reports.
Amid growing concerns over the management of the country's financial institutions, President Salva Kiir Mayardit has tasked Dr. Addis Ababa Otho, the newly appointed governor of the Bank of South Sudan, with leading reforms to restore integrity and professionalism at the central bank. During Wednesday's swearing-in ceremony, President Kiir called for immediate action to improve transparency, enforce accountability, and strengthen financial discipline within the bank's operations.
I expect you to carry out reforms in the bank to ensure best practices are restored in the bank, and previously that there is 10% being paid by those who have a transaction. They must stop doing that. You are entrusted to lead with honesty, fairness, and efficiency. This is what is wanted from you. Financial intelligence unit should intensify monitoring and report any financial wrongdoings directly to my office on a regular basis.
The president underscored the urgent need to clean up the institution and promote a culture of honesty, fairness, and efficiency, cornerstones, he said, that are essential to transforming the country's financial landscape.
You are entrusted to lead with honesty, fairness, and efficiency. This is what is wanted from you. Honesty. Honest means that you don't need a kickback, but do your duty without a kickback.
Backing the president's call, the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Marial Dongrin-Nater, expressed strong support for the new central bank leadership. He pledged close cooperation with the governor to address persistent cash shortages and help rebuild public confidence in the banking system.
Can say we have come out from a very, very difficult period, the whole of 2024, part of 2025. We have policies in place. We have been working with them to ensure that we have full recovery as soon as possible. We have the major challenge that you will face is how to address the cash shortage in the economy. We have been able to pay now for the past 7 months salaries without fail, but that money goes in the account without cash. So getting cash is the biggest problem.
In his acceptance speech, Dr. Otho vowed to work closely with the Ministry of Finance and other stakeholders. He laid out a plan focused on ensuring regular salary disbursements, enhancing financial oversight, and maintaining the central bank's core mandate of economic stability and responsible stewardship.
I'm committed to work closely with the Minister and the Minister of Finance and all the stakeholders to ensure that we streamline our effort and collectively now bring about paying salary on time. We want to play with you that will lead with accountability, transparency, and unwavering dedication to ensure that the mandate of central bank is maintained. I'm quite sure that our principal mandate is to ensure that we maintain price stability, but also promote the sustainable growth.
The change in leadership at the central bank comes at a critical time as the country faces mounting economic challenges and seeks to reform its financial governance systems. Alejandro Lotok, SS.
Shifting focus to national economy planning, the country's economics cluster chaired by Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel has approved the estimated national budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year amounting to 52.2 trillion South Sudanese pounds. The approval follows a presentation by Finance Minister Maria Dongrin Ater, highlighting the government's focus on addressing urgent financial needs while driving economic reform and service delivery. Speaking to the media after the meeting, Minister of Environment and Forestry, Josephine Lapon Cosmo, noted that the budget will rely heavily on revenue collected by the National Revenue Authority and income from oil production. Coordinated by the Ministry of Petroleum, Lapon emphasized that agriculture and mining will be key investment priorities under the new budget, aimed at diversifying the economy and creating job opportunities. Among the major resolutions is the effective implementation of the timely salary payment for public servants and support for humanitarian efforts across the country.
Budget estimates for the fiscal year 2025-2026 by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Planning. The cluster deliberated on the resource envelope and passed the resource envelope amounting to 52.2 trillion SSP, which was passed for the deliberation of the Council of Ministers. Our resource envelope is based on the data from the key revenue generating institutions and mainly from South Sudan Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Petroleum, that is oil production. Our revenues are basically to cater for some of the expenditures, especially investing in agriculture sector, mining sector, among others. Of course, the fiscal budget 2025-2026 will cater for the following. That is payment of salaries, which is a routine from the government. That is current and arrears, and also humanitarian.
Red Army Foundation and Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng Demabur discussed preparations for the celebration of the Matai Day. Speaking to the media, the Foundation Secretary for Information and Public Relations, Rachel Amor Pach, appeals for support to ensure success of the occasion. Matai Day is observed annually on 30th July in remembrance of Dr. John Garang Demabur, key figure in the country's struggle for independence.
We have discussed with her is the plan that the Red Army Foundation have decided to celebrate the Martyrs' Days of this year in new site where our great leader Dr. John Garang Mabur lost his life. We want to reconnect with the history, and we want to trace it back so that that place is remembered and that place will give us blessing when we visit there. So we call upon the leadership of the SPLM and the leadership of the country, and specifically we call on our president, Comrade Salva Kiir Mayardit, to support the Red Army in all ways possible. We appreciate you for giving us the power for our member of Red Army, His Excellency Comrade Benjamin Bol.
Warab new Governor Bolwek Agoth stresses enforcing the rule of law to enhance security. This followed this meeting with the Deputy Speaker of the Council of State, Mary Ayen Majok in Juba, focusing on the security situation as well as efforts to supporting agriculture and education in the state. Ayen Mijuk expresses the Council of State's readiness to providing technical assistance to promoting peace and stability in Warab State.
in our briefing with the governor, we also informed him about some of the pending issues that were left by the previous leadership. Among them was initiative on some consultative and initiative on peace building with the neighboring administrative area and within the communities, Warab itself, and also some initiative to connect also the state with other neighboring states and administrative area.
My mission is to bring law and order in Warab state. Is to implement the state of emergency because the situation has really labeled that there has to be an intervention using the powers of the state, the state of emergency. My duty is to coordinate that effort so that is.
And now we are going for our first short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Welcome back from that short break. Now to proceed with our news bulletin. Government and International Monetary Fund IMF have discussed deepening continued economic cooperation. This comes in a meeting between the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Maria Dongrin Ater, and officials from IMF, led by the mission's chief for South Sudan, Mame Aston Diop, in Juba. During the meeting, Minister Dongrin emphasized the ministry's commitment to working closely with the IMF team in reviewing the microeconomic framework in relation to the design of the staff monitored program. Deputy Minister Ben George Anyak and Commissioner General of South Sudan Revenue Authority, Simon Akwe Deng, attended the meeting. The first anniversary Council Forum and the 30th Annual Assembly of the East African Communication Organization, EACO, formally opens in Juba under the theme, Shaping the Future of the East Africa Region Through Digital Transformation. SSBC's Dengachol reports.
The East African Communication Organization is holding the first Advisory Council Forum and 30th Annual Assembly in Juba to set the benchmarks for regulations, harmonize the communication sectors, strengthening interoperations, streamline competition for consumer benefits, and drive technological innovation in the region. South Sudan Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services, Michael Makwe, says key objectives include promoting connectivity, ensuring consumer protection, and facilitating market entry besides addressing efficient and coordinating use of resources.
The government of the Republic of South Sudan reiterates its commitment to ensure the commitment to continue and relentlessly work with our partners in the East African region, and we envision YAPO evolving into a robust regional institution that sets standards and drives the digital transformation agenda across East Africa. South Sudan is committed to supporting this evolution, recognizing that a strong YAPO is instrumental in achieving our collective digital ambitions.
The Ugandan Minister of Information, Chris Bayumis, stresses the urbanizing communication sectors will help the region to reduce trade costs as well as streamline regulatory standards to minimize redundant and conflicting requirements.
Sudan has not developed it. Maybe you don't have to invent the wheel. You can learn from what we have gone through. Similarly, where South Sudan has made progress in an area, and maybe Kenya or Rwanda or DRC is starting the process, we should be able to learn from each other so that we move fast and run as the East African community in order to embrace digital transformation.
The Director General of the South Sudan National Communication Authority, Geth Konmathiang, calls upon the assemblies to empower line institutions to strengthen internal and cross-border e-service to address demand.
Scaling digital skill, promoting targeting youth and women with focus coding, network administration, and digital entrepreneur. Let these assemblies reinforce our shared purpose to connect, to harmonize, and to empower our people through digital transformation. South Sudan remains steadfast in commitment to YAPO and to support transformation of the YAPO into a specialized digital agency of the East Africa community.
The chairperson on the board of East African Communication Organization, YACO, Dr. Samuel Mouzi, encourages harmonizing communication sectors for improving the overall efficiency and effectiveness of the communication sector.
Let us work together to harness the opportunities and address the challenges facing our sector. Let us share our expertise, resources, and ideas to create a brighter future for our citizens.
Harmonizing communication sector is a conformative of the East African Communication Treaties concerned for people-centered and business-driven approaches, targeting development of East African communication internal market for electronic communication networks, and focusing on open innovations. Deng Achol, SSBC News, Juba.
Construction on Juba River Port, funded by the Japanese government, nears completion with 80% of the work accomplished. Transport Minister Dr. Lam Akol Ajawin inspected the facility on Wednesday. Taban Juma has the details.
River transport in South Sudan has a long history of successful operations, while currently showing strong decline due to the challenging security situation in the country. Juba River Port is one of the main ports along the White Nile up to rank in Upper Nile State. The port currently is being expanded with support from the Japanese government through its international cooperation agency, JICA, for the potential for the port to become fully operational again. The Minister of Transport, Dr. Lamakola Jawin, paid an inspection visit to the port, where 80% from the work had been accomplished. The work is currently put on hold after JICA evacuated its staff due to the recent political development in South Sudan.
This construction that has taken place, I'm told, is 80% of what was supposed to be done. JICA had to keep it on hold for a while as a result of the political developments, which it is our duty as politicians to work hard to see that these are removed and they come and resume what they are doing. We are determined to see that the river transport goes back to the old days when it used to travel from Kosti up to Juba.
Dr. Akol Ajawing further stated that removing the illegal checkpoints along the White Nile is a priority for the Ministry of Transport in cooperation with the Ministry of Defense.
We know that there are a number of obstacles on the way, and this is what we hope to clear. These checkpoints is both a security issue and an operational issue. The security side, we will work together with the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Interior to see how we can overcome that.
The White Nile has been the source of life for communities along its banks since ancient times, and it remains an economic lifeline for the people of South Sudan today. It's also recognized as an important means for transporting humanitarian supplies to the millions of internally displaced people and people at risk due to the security and food-related crisis in South Sudan. Taban Juma, SSBC.
Governor Dr. Riek Gaiko confirmed East Coast fever outbreak in Jonglei State. Dr. Ko confirmed the outbreak on Wednesday in Juba during a meeting with the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Onyoti Adigo Nyikwech, seeking intervention on measures to contain the spread of the disease. Speaking to the media, Minister Adigo says the ministry would intensify intervention measures through collaboration with partners to control the spread of the disease. Governor Koch describes the presence of the disease as a threat to livestock in the area.
We have a number of issues which we discuss with His Excellency the Governor. One of them is the problem of livestock, the diseases, which is prevailing now in jungle, especially East Coast fever and other diseases. So we were telling him how we can handle these things, and we are very thankful that the Indian battalion in the UNIMIS is trying their level best. They brought some medicine with our approval from India, and then they are now making camping in some of the areas. And we also discuss issues connected with fish, because in Bor, the fish in Bor is our future. So it is a matter of organizing it in a better form, and we discuss with those of FAO, so that we'll build a very big place for them, and then we bring some of the companies outside to make processing of fresh fish as well as dry fish, and then to be packed according to international standards, so that we'll be able to stamp them with the stamp of South Sudan and then export them outside.
We have made some efforts to reconcile the two communities of Murle and the Bor people. And now the movement between Tibor and Bor has returned to normalcy. Cattle are moving from Greater Tibor administrative area through Bor to the market here in Juba, which is a big blessing, and we have to maintain that situation. But the issue of East Coast fever remains as a threat. That's why I came to Juba to meet my brother, Honorable Minister Onyoti, with an aim of finding.
Now we are out for another short break. Stay with us. We welcome you back from that short break. Now, the Minister of Health, Sarah Clent-Orial, and the UNDP Country Director, Dr. Mohamed Abshir, discussed cooperation to strengthen the country's health sector. Minister Clento expresses gratitude to United Nations Development Programme for its continuous efforts in enhancing health services in the country. UNDP official Dr. Mohamed emphasizes commitment to working closely with the ministry to provide health services to the public.
UNDP is basically one of the largest supporters or contributors or funders of this the health program in South Sudan. They came to just brief me about their programs, but we will have more time to sit and discuss in depth about the availability, the funding. They reassured us as South Sudanese of their support and their continuous funding for programs in South Sudan.
It was a courtesy call to the minister, and I wanted to congratulate her for her appointment, Ministry of Health. Also wanted to reiterate and reassure her, the Minister, of the commitment and engagement of UNDP. So we will be on her side and will support her as we always have done, in the area of health here in South Sudan. But I think the main purpose was to reiterate our commitment and also congratulate the Minister. So other opportunities will come. We will have further engagement and we'll go through the detail of the.
Turning attention to efforts addressing rising youth unemployment, the government, in partnership with development stakeholders, including Impact Health Organization, has launched a youth volunteer empowerment program known as KUBRI. The initiative is designed to strengthen youth capacities, support demobilization from violence-related activities, and enhance their competitiveness in the job sector. We have the report.
Amidst growing concern over youth and employment, the National Minister of Youth and Sport, in collaboration with Impact Health Organization, has officially launched the KUBRI Youth Volunteer Empowerment Program. The program seeks to steer youth away from violence by offering mentorships, innovation platforms, capacity building, and access to public and private sector labor markets. At the launch event, National
at the backbone, evidently, of this country. At the backbone, evidently, of this country. In terms of talent, in terms of resilience, in terms of hard work. And these good attributes should be put to good use. We would look to other partners in the future to focus on entrepreneurship so that even as we talk about being employed, we also truly talk about you starting a job.
Plista Beyer, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Public Service and Human Resource Development, stressed that initiative would build bridge for youth, linking them to opportunities, mentorships, and real-world experience.
The youth of today face a lot of challenges, ranging from unemployment, underemployment, economic crisis, inadequate facilities for leisure, recreation, and community services. Inadequate access to financial resources, to mention but few. These challenges inhibit their active participation in the social, economic development of their country.
Taban Paridi, chairpersons of South Sudan National Youth Union, call for inclusivity, especially for the peoples living with disability, encouraging youth at the grassroots level to refrain from negative activities and focus on growth and development.
This program you see here is for you. It is structured ministry and who are the beneficiaries? It's you. When it comes to unemployment, we should also factor in those ones in the car. How do we change their mentality from raping into getting something so that they buy more money?
And resources to reduce unemployment rates.
Even you go to these 3 places, you get most of them are graduates. And these are the group of age between 18 to 35. Our target is to say that these volunteers are going to be deployed to different institutions. And we are calling upon the institutions, when you see this volunteer of ours, welcome them, nurture them, coach them, mentor them so that they will become whatever we want in the future.
According to the official, this program focuses on engaging youth in effective entrepreneurial skills under the guidance of the Impacts Health Organization as a foundation for realizing their dreams. Dutta Kwinjok, SSBC News.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, in partnership with the International Committee of the Red Cross and the Institute for Diplomatic Studies, concluded a 3-day professional course on international humanitarian law and humanitarian diplomacy held in Juba. In his closing remarks, Deputy Minister Ambassador Akwei Bona Malwal reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to advancing humanitarian principles and legal knowledge among national institutions.
And international humanitarian law. I am happy because as a diplomat, I think, and this is one of the core things that you should have in your knowledge as you go along. Last time I was here, I was telling you as a diplomat, you have to follow news and to keep up with the current events. And yes, in South Sudan, we have a lot of refugee, and some of the cases apply to us. But also when you look internationally, there are all kinds of crises. And with your knowledge of the international humanitarian law, you don't have to be a lawyer, but now with whatever you have learned the last 3 days here, you will be able to understand the news and the international NGOs.
The last 3 days, at least we, as diplomats, we must be aware of international humanitarian law and humanitarian diplomacy. Honorable Minister, we have gained a lot for the last 3 days training. I believe all diplomats who have participated in this training have known something from protection of civilians, gender-based violence, and so forth. Honorable Minister, this program
national training has just been completed. I know it helped foster greater understanding of humanitarian norms and practices among South Sudanese diplomats. It reaffirmed the importance of neutral and impartial humanitarian action, situations of violence, space for humanitarian action. The questions asked and keen interactions throughout the event demonstrated a genuine curiosity to comprehend.
Leaders of the Bank of South Sudan have pledged a new vision focused on unity, integrity, transformation, and economic stability at a high-level reception held in honor of the newly appointed Governor, Dr. Addis Ababa Otho, and First Deputy Samuel Yanga Mikaya. The leadership reaffirmed their commitment to tackling the country's economic challenges and steer policies aimed to restore price stability and foster national growth. We have the report.
Newly appointed Bank of South Sudan Governor, Dr. Addis Ababa Otho, and First Deputy Governor Samuel Yanga Mikaya officially assumed office on Wednesday during a ceremony held at the Bank of South Sudan headquarters in Juba. Dr. Otho, formerly the First Deputy Governor, has now been elevated to the position of Governor, while Samuel Yanga Mikaya has been reappointed as the First Deputy Governor for a second time.
We are not here because we are the best. We are here because we were chosen. And let us work together. One, us to develop a culture that will bring us together, that will bind us together as a people. We come from a different background, different cultures, but we should establish a culture that belongs to Bank of South Sudan.
Both leaders bring a wealth of experiences and academic qualifications in economics, having served in various roles within the Bank of South Sudan over the years. During the ceremony, Governor Otho and First Deputy Governor Mikaya addressed bank staff, cautioning them against unethical practices, particularly the alleged taking of 10% kickbacks from clients during transactions. The new leadership vowed to advance a renewed vision for the bank, highlighting institutional transformation, staff unity, integrity, and the pursuit of rights and economic stability. Dr. Otho outlined a bold reform agenda aimed at improving institutional performance.
We will review the HR policy, the HR charter, to ensure that those practices that does not reflect our values are eliminated totally. This is not who we are. The South Sudanese are very humble, simple, resilient.
First Deputy Governor Mikaya stressed the importance of adhering to ethical standards and internal regulations.
We will work together, and definitely we are going to work together with Honorable Governor and Mama Terence closely, and together with you, we will move out of these challenges. I have seen the challenges.
Second Deputy Governor Rida Nyankira Kon also urged staff to work toward enhancing the bank's public image and reputation.
Everybody to make sure that they leave their footprint here in Bank of South Sudan. Leadership is a process of learning. You learn till you die. There's no limits.
The new appointments come at a critical time as South Sudan faces significant economic challenges, including inflation and broader macroeconomic instability.
So the new team, we take this now as a lot. Take care of the responsibility that has been put upon you, because you will be judged by the people that are sitting here. You will judge yourself. The children that we have, they will come and see what you have done. God in heaven will see what you have done.
Bank of South Sudan, headquartered in Juba, operates multiple branches across the country in Awil, Tuye, Wau, Malakal, Nimili, Rumbek, and Kwajok, with plans to expand further into other regions. The ceremony was attended by the members of the board of directors, senior management, and staff. Daniel Marengwek, SSBC.
Fire reportedly triggered by electrical fault destroys 12 shops at Custom Market. As Isaac Luduru reports, no casualties were reported during the incident. We have the report.
A fire accident at Customs Market has damaged 12 shops. Some of the shops are reported partially damaged. In a statement to SSBC, the representative of the Chamber of Commerce, Adam Ahmed, says the chamber will compensate victims of the fire accident.
بنناشد الحكومة أنه ذاته تكون شنو يكون المطافي بمقر قريب. قبل كده هنا طالبنا المحافظة هنا بأنه المطافي بدل يكون بعيد من الأسواق يكون في 7 days هنا قريب لا في 77 بكون قريب للأسواق، والأحداث اللي بتحصل شنو في السوق. المطافي بيجينا في وقت وجيز، لكن هسه تأخير المطافي هو حصل شنو أنه النار يسيطر على بقية الأجناس. أما بالنسبة لأخواننا التجار، نحن في حريق قبال شهر موجود هنا في 12 دكان يتحرق، فإحنا قمنا كغرفة تجارية عملنا تعميم للتجار بتاع السوق كله وعملنا لهم تعويض، والتعويض ده حيصلهم.
Joseph Lege, a victim in the fire accident, appeals to the fire brigade personnel to stand on alert to respond swiftly in fire emergencies.
أنا تاجر في سوق بتاع كاستوم ده، والحصل ياهو في زمن قريب ساعتين ده هو كلام كهرباء، والدكان كان مقفول، وكان الناس ما لحقوا مكالمويو، والمطافي جاء متأخر والدكان كان مقفول ناس ما قادر يفتحوا وكان كهرباء خلاص يتسر في دواكن جنبه يا وصيب الناس بقى بعيدين من الكلام بتاع منهار ده إلا الناس مطافي وصل بمويه والناس القرار وصل يا ناس يلحقوا لكن الله عنده كله هرك.
Richard Yogo Gabriel, an officer in the fire brigade, explained some of the constraints in the activities of the brigade, particularly in Juba City.
الحقيقة الديستن بتاعنا أو سويا بعيد. أنا من تليفون بيجينا أنا بيجي سويا تأخير سويا بإنه محل بتاعنا ده واحد في جوبا هنا. لو كان قال عنده في فرع كتير ممكن. لكن محلنا ده واحد. يا أسان كده. لازم كل سوق لازم كان يكون عنده دفاع مدني. في كل سوق مثلا زي ده لازم يكون عنده دفاع مدني كونيو لازم يكون عنده دفاع مدني حتى غدل لازم كان يكون عنده دفاع مدني.
Mama Ashol is seriously dissatisfied. She registers her sympathies with the fire victim.
أنا كي كوري ما كلام واصل